All right, this is your Audacy check-in live from the Hard Rock Hotel, New York. I am here with Jade.
Woo!
Everyone clap. So how long did it take for you to nail down what solo Jade would be? Were you envisioning it for a long time? Did you never think of it until the group went on hiatus? What?
Oh, I think I kind of thought about it a bit, like when the group was beginning to begin the hiatus. We kind of talked about what the rollout was, and in doing so I was like, okay, I got to start thinking about who I am. But I really did need, it's been like 2.5 years since then, so I needed that time to evolve and become my own artist.
Yeah.
Did
you ever think, well, I'm not going to do anything unless it's with the girls?
No, I think I definitely, it was bittersweet, like letting go of that chapter of my life, because I loved Little Mix so much. Like, I'm the biggest stan and fangirl of the group. So, yeah, it was definitely sad when it ended. But I think, it's a new beginning, and, like everything in life, change is good. And so once I got into writing, that felt really liberating. And now I'm ready. Yeah.
Well, this lead single, Angel of My Dreams, you did what you set out to do, I think. Like, you immediately sound like your own artist.
Oh, thank you.
For sure. At the beginning, I'm kind of like, oh, this is Little Mixy. And then the beat drops, and then you hear and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not Little Mixy. This is Jade,
That's good. Yeah, that's what I was going for. I think especially with Angel of My Dreams, that song is essentially about my kind of experience in the music industry. So that slow opening is almost like that beginning of my career where everything's like, oh, this is so magical. And then you get propelled into the industry, and that's what I wanted the song to feel like.
Totally. I mean, it came across perfectly. What was like the final piece of that song puzzle to come together? Maybe something you were held up on that finally clicked?
Well, actually, I think so. The sample in it, there's a sample called Puppet on a String, which is by Sandy Shaw. It's a very old Eurovision Song Contest song from like the 60s. And that goes like, I wonder if one day that. And originally that was the chorus, was me singing that. And then we rewrote a chorus to go on top of it. And that's where the do came into it. So yeah, it probably did sound quite different initially, but the kind of chaos of it was always there.
Yeah.
We knew that's what we wanted to do. Slow down the tempo, speed it up, bring it back down, pitch up vocals. Mm-hmm. Like I wanted it to feel like there was a lot going on.
It does, but it all seamlessly goes together, and it feels very big. I love it.
Thank you.
So being a part of a group for as long as you were, does that make you, for like a solo album, does that make you want to have a lot of features or have no features? You're like, just me.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, when I've been writing this album, like I've not thought once about this is to write with someone else, or this is to, like you say, I just sort of wanted to write just for me. And create a music that felt just like my sound, and then think about collabs after. But I definitely have like a wish list of people that I'd love to work with, whether it's on the record or outside of it.
Yeah. And outside of Perry and Leigh-Anne, is there anyone you confide in the industry to like kind of like as a soundboard to play some early stuff for that gives you advice or anything?
So Emanike, who is actually, I wrote with on the album, he's a really good friend of mine. He was one of the first people to kind of take me under his wing and be like, let's figure it out together who you want to be. He's been really helpful for that. Who else have I suppose my partner's been really helpful. He also came from like a group and then became a solo artist. So it was good to have him to bounce off for like inspiration and advice. I know I've spoke to people like at events, like whether it's like one of the Spice Girls or
sure.
Like Kylie, people that get it, that have experienced something similar or that understand what it's like putting yourself out there, because it's quite vulnerable, especially when you've been in a band for so long.
Yeah.
To then come out of that and then create what you think is your own sound, it's big, it's a lot, it's important to me to get it right. So yeah. Any advice is welcome.
So just to be clear, you played the album for the Spice Girls.
Oh my God, no! Don't quote me on that.
Oh, okay.
I wish. Oh my God, I wish. No, I'd love to play music for them. I think I've seen Mel C quite a few times, like out and about, and she's always so lovely at like giving advice or being like, "Are you feeling ready for it?" I saw her at like I think it was a Vogue ball or something a year ago, and yeah, she's always just so lovely, and that goes a long way.
Yeah. In your long career, was there ever a song you were like very invested in, and maybe you wanted it to get the single treatment and it didn't, or you just wanted it to go a little bit? Okay, you're ready to go. Go, tell me.
I'll tell you, it's Wasabi. It should have been a single. Justice for Wasabi always. I will never shut up about it, and I'll probably put it in my set when I do my own shows.
I love it. Watch, in 10 years from now, it's going to blow up on TikTok again.
Imagine.
It happens.
It kind of did, though. It kind of did. Like, after it was out a few years later, it started trending on TikTok. I was like, I told you. So I'll never shut up about that one. But there's always some that slip through the net. You know how it is. You can't have every song as a single.
So this was a single, but it still upsets me to this day. I really was very passionate about Touch. I just felt like it should have been a number one in the U.S. Like,
yes.
It should have been.
It really should have. I think it was... I don't know what went on with that whole thing. I think it was a bit of like miscommunication and crossed wires of like what was this first single, what was the second, because
Sure.
Touch definitely deserved more, especially over here, and we saw that reaction. You know, we toured with Ariana Grande at the time on a Dangerous Woman tour, and every time we performed Touch, it went off, and we knew it was special. We were like, this is going to be huge. For whatever reason, it didn't quite happen.
I mean, let's be clear, it did well, but that is a perfect pop song. Like, it really is perfect.
I remember Charlie XX, when I did an interview with her like a couple of years ago, she was like, that's one of the best pop songs ever. And I was like, period.
And that's flattering coming from Charlie.
The queen of pop, yeah.
She's phenomenal. How has things changed with you and Perry and Leigh-Anne now that they're like being selfish and doing the mother thing?
I know.
I mean, are they talking about like Bluey and Peppa Pig all the time, and you're like, I'm exiting the group chat? Or
no, I think, well, they definitely have their own baby chat, and I'm not in it. And I'm like, that's fine.
Okay.
So yeah, they've got their own thing going on there. But no, I actually adore those kids, and you know, I'm all for baby and children updates. They're family, you know, any updates are welcome.
Your auntie.
Yeah, I am. I'm the cool auntie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I think it's really great actually seeing them navigate, you know, motherhood and career. Like, I think they balance that so well. And why shouldn't you still be an amazing pop star and have children at the same time? I think they're queens. And when we did our tour together and watching them with those babies on the road, I was just like, wow, good for you.
That's crazy.
Not for me.
You know, I love how you use your platform for good. You're very open and honest, and you seem, you know, like just the equality, the any political stances, all your charity work. It seems like you really are on the right side of history with stuff. Do you feel like you're doing enough? Is there any initiatives you want to be a part of moving forward?
That's really lovely to say that, actually.
Oh, thank you.
I feel like, well, maybe it's just my personality, but I'll always feel like I'm not always doing enough. But I do think, just for me, I think it's important as an artist in the pop industry, you have to be vocal about certain things. You can't just keep quiet or brush something under the rug. I think, you know, I've always been quite outspoken about things I feel passionate about, whether that is like social issues or allyship or, any sort of political injustices. I think I'm aware that we have, and I have like quite a young fan base who need that inspiration or need to feel brave enough to speak out when things aren't right. So, I don't think that'll ever stop. Things for the future, I think, you know, the goal maybe would just to be continuing working with different charities. You know, I don't know. We'll see. I just always try and educate myself more on things that are happening in the world so I can form the right opinion and say the right things.
Little Mix was always very, you know, women power, feminist. Do you think more of those topics will, now that you're a solo artist, do you have different kind of freedoms where that'll find its way into the music, or you like keeping it separate?
Yeah, maybe. I think now as a solo artist, I can maybe say even more.
Sure.
You know, I can be even more outspoken on the things I feel passionate about. I think in the band, yeah, we had this like girl power thing, and I think that was so special. And I do miss that a bit. We have got some girl bands like Floor, they're incredible. I think it's so important to have girl bands in the industry because what they stand for is like togetherness, like sisterhood. And so I think, you know, they're essential in the pop world. But yeah, for myself, I think, I think you can do more on your own. It's not just about, I think in the band, it's not just about you. So you can't say certain things or, you know, sure. You don't want to speak for everyone. So now on my own, I can do that.
For the solo stuff, tell me who you've linked up with writer-wise. I believe, what's the dude's name that did Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso? He's one of the people.
So Steph Jones, who wrote Espresso, is who I did Angel in My Dreams with.
Okay.
But Mike Sabbath, I would say is probably one of the main producers on the album. He did all the Ray records.
Okay. And how did all that come together? Was just a friend of a friend or people you've been wanting to?
Well, I did a lot of sort of like speed dating producers and writers in LA just to kind of find my own people. Obviously in the band there was such a like formula in the same team, so I tried to push myself with new people. But Mike, I'd known for years. We wrote Wasabi together. So I was like, it has to be Mike.
Okay.
And we hit it off straight away again. We wrote Angel the first writing day together, so that was good. Pablo Bowman, I wrote Angel with too. I've known him for years, but there are new people on the album. Producers like Circuit, who is incredible. I've written with Ray on this album, and as we know, she's one of the best artists of our generation. Yeah. So yeah, I've collabed with quite a few, old and new. I think that's good to get that balance.
Cool.
I've written with Tovelo. I hope that's how I say her name. And she was brilliant.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this record has been about like pushing myself to work with new people, which has then helped me become a better artist.
Awesome. Well, like I said, the song's great. We can't wait to hear the album. Before we wrap, I'll throw you one curveball.
Go on.
If you were gonna get married, it's not even really a curveball. If you were gonna get married tomorrow, do you know what the wedding song would be?
Whoa, steady on. Okay, let me have a think. Ooh,
Is there a ballad you love?
Yes, I love. I feel like this is kind of typical, but I do love Beyonce's 1+1.
I mean, it's a beautiful song.
It's
sure.
so beautiful.
Yeah. Nobody would be mad at that.
Also, my boyfriend has written me songs before, which we'd probably use if we did get married.
Yeah, that would offend him if you didn't. So.
Yeah, but he's good at that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do it. I'm quite easily cringed.
Yeah.
Cringed out. So if I tried writing, like, I actually have written him a love song on the album. But just the thought of performing it at the wedding would, no, I can't. I can't do it.
But he would be able to do it.
Yeah,
huh?
and he'd smash it, and everyone would cry, and it would be so beautiful.
But you can't laugh while it's happening.
No, I can't. And that's the thing. At the minute I feel slightly awkward, I'll start to laugh.
Yeah.
I'm just that way inclined. Like
so
any
maybe
yeah.
Let's go with Beyonce.
Yeah, let's stick to Beyonce.
Yeah. Could be a disaster. Jade, thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thank you.